Hi.
my my earbud wrapped around the steering wheel.
Oh, really? Was this as you're making a turn?
Yeah.
Oh,
Do I
lovely.
sound okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Fucking odd. He totally ripped the phone right out of the holder. And
Well, it's no wonder I couldn't hear you.
yeah. Anyway, Hi.
Hi.
I want to talk zombies.
You want to talk zombies?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, do you like zombies?
You know, I'm not a big zombie fan, only because I don't know. It's like when The Walking Dead came out and this whole zombie thing was going on. I thought, maybe there might be something to it, but it never really piqued my interest, so I never really watched it. The only zombie experience I have is when I was playing that zombie game with you.
Oh, the VR one?
No,
Left 4 Dead?
Left 4 Dead. Yeah, Left 4 Dead 2, I think it is. So
Yeah.
that was
we also played that zombie game in the virtual reality.
yeah, I
Remember?
remember playing that. That was fun. That was really fun. We still need to go out and do another one of those.
Oh yeah.
Something a little different.
Oh yeah, big time.
There's a few different places in town now, so
Yeah, there's probably 5 or 6 of them now.
yeah.
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 So is that kind of the apex you thought, where okay, The Walking Dead comes out, everyone's zombie crazy now, kind of tired of it?
Well, I was never really into it to begin with, but I don't know. Everything, like even video games. I mean, you're playing, you play the World War II games and whatnot, and then they have the Nazis. Oh, they've got this, this whole zombie thing going on, and human experimentation and stuff. So they stick, a bunch of that stuff in the video games, which I play, but I don't know. It's not my cup of tea. I know a lot of people really love it, and that's fine. But I don't know. Not a big deal for myself. How about you?
Yeah, I'm big on zombies.
Yeah, I kind of got that.
I was listening to. I guess I want to share this and we'll give a shout out to those guys, but there's this podcast called NASA or NASA.
Right.
They're out of the UK, and they gave us a mention on their show.
Cool.
Which is awesome. A decent mention too, like talked about us for a little bit, so that was kind of cool.
Wow, I'll have to listen to that.
And it was like their conspiracy show and they had a whole episode about zombies, so I sent them a comment on Twitter, and I listened to the show, and they mentioned us. Wow. But it kind of got me thinking about the whole zombie thing.
Right.
And they wanted me to talk about the zombie game that I made.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
So I'm like, well, let's just talk zombies.
Okay.
Let's just talk zombies, man. I'm just trying to turn the volume up on here.
So what is it about zombies that piqued your interest? Is it because you can't kill them? Is it because they're ugly as sin? Is it because they just kind of walk around slowly so you can kind of run away from them?
Well, I think they're always going to hold a special place for me. I told you they might not know this on our show here, but I proposed to Sylvie in a zombie, using zombies.
Really? I wasn't aware of that.
You didn't know that story?
No.
So, when The Walking Dead comic book came out, Sylvie and I, this is fairly early on in the courtship phase of our relationship, and she's like, "Oh, you collect comic books?" Like, yeah, I do. I've always loved comic books, but as a girl, it's kind of maybe it's frowned upon, buying comic books unless they're Archie comics.
Mm-hmm.
But my wife's like Anyway, she started collecting comic books. So I have a comic book shop I go to, Comics Factory for, and I have my monthly pull list that I pull from there.
Right.
And we decided jointly that we would collect The Walking Dead because it was getting reviewed. It was winning all these comic awards and stuff, and a lot of people were talking about it. And this is way, way, way before the TV show was a twinkle in anyone's eye.
Right.
And the greatness of the comic book was, okay, we've seen zombie stories done a gazillion times, but our story is not about the zombies. It's about the people. And that was kind of intriguing. So Sylvie and I collected the books for a number of years,
Mm-hmm.
and we were buying them in collected editions. And then the 10th volume of it was delayed, and for whatever, because they usually they put 3 or 4 comic books out, and then they put out a compilation of the 4 issues.
Right.
So anyway, the 10th edition it hadn't come out yet, and we were waiting and waiting, and it was during that time I'm gonna ask Sylvie to marry me, and I didn't. We're trying to figure out how am I gonna get her to marry me. So I was out shopping for rings and that whole 9 yards,
Mm-hmm.
trying to plan how I'm gonna propose to her. So the 10th edition finally came out, and I did lie to my wife, folks, but I said, it's still not out because I was waiting for my ring to get sized and made and everything.
Okay, I think the story's starting to ring a bell. Okay, keep
Ring
going.
a bell, yeah. So I was waiting, so I kind of lied. It's not out yet. I was trying to get that ring. So finally, I get the ring back, and I'm like, okay, how am I gonna do this? So I put the ring inside the book, and I think I put it in the bag or something. And I said, you're not gonna believe it's out. I've got volume 10, and volume 9 ended off in a massive cliffhanger. Painful to see what's gonna happen next.
Right.
So she opens the book, she grabs the book, she opens it, and the ring falls out. And she looks down at the book, she looks down at the ring, she looks back at the book, down at the ring, back at the book, kind of deciding which she was more excited for.
Should I read it?
And then I said, I asked her if she'd marry me, and she said yes. And so she saved that book. So he's like, okay, now I'm not reading this because this is special.
Right.
So she saved that book, and she read the book on the wedding day while she's waiting, for the ceremony to start. And she's with all the bridesmaids and mom, and getting ready in that whole part.
Right.
And then she basically set aside time to go read the book before the ceremony. And that was that.
Cool. Definitely different.
Definitely different.
So
I kind of, ever since then, we both have a soft spot for the zombies.
So hence you made the game.
So hence I made the game. So I play a fair amount of video games,
Mm-hmm.
Zombie related. I think my favorite video game for the longest time that we still play to this day is Left 4 Dead, which, as you recall, that's what we played for my stag. We did a LAN party,
Yeah.
multiple TVs, multiple Xbox. We played Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yep, that was fun. And then I discovered a game later that was called State of Decay, which was an indie game.
Right.
And I fell in love with everything about the game. You combine a Sims approach to things with Grand Theft Auto,
Mm-hmm.
combo those two games. Very unique game, and as much as I like the video game, it's in the wrong format. This needs to be a tabletop. So then I started looking at role playing games, saying I gotta make a game like this, the tabletop. It's lacking on the video game side.
Mm-hmm.
I know you might disagree, but I always
Well, it depends on the format that you like to play. If you're used to playing, time-based where you can kind of chat in between your turns, or if you want to say like, yeah, here's a rifle, they're out to get you, go. It's like you have to think on your toes, but I mean in real time. You don't have a minute to think about what and plan your
Yeah.
strategy. You're planning on the fly. That's how I kind of like to do it. But
Yep.
but each genre has its own followers and people like different things. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Like I played a fair amount of tabletop zombie stuff, usually stuff my buddy Mark worked. And but none of those tabletops like 100% did what I wanted. And then I was playing Zombie, the board game called Zombie,
mm-hmm.
which is one of my all-time favorites. Which I just posted on my Instagram today, I think. And I love that game, but I found that game was lacking with certain things that I want, just personal preference, right? Like I would like it if this game did that. And then I was thinking about video games, like that game's really good, but it's lacking something. So
But what? Sorry,
I
what
think
was
it's
that?
I felt like the video game was lacking
Oh, okay,
stuff. It's like it's got all this great stuff in it. Like I like the whole sim side of it,
right.
and I like the gameplay side of it. And it has a leveling system within the game, which I thought was genius.
Right,
Which they obviously stole from like tabletop stuff.
right.
So I'm like, but I'd like to play this as a board game because the kid was not cooperative. So then I can't remember who I was talking to. I think it was Dylan. And Dylan was like, well, just make your own game. I mean, you know what you want. You know how to build it.
Right.
You're a smart guy. Making board games and role-playing games, all math. And, you're a pricing guy. I think you know math.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, yeah, I'll make my own game. So I started designing a board game
Right.
that combined kind of the best elements of those two. And I did multiple trials. Were you in one of the trials?
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I developed that, and I did 7 play trials.
Right.
And after every play trial, just completely, rework the rules, rework the mechanics. I found stuff that didn't quite work, so then I changed this and we changed that.
Mm-hmm.
And I went through 7 complete edits to get it right, and I created all these not the version you would have played, I guess, but I created all these tokens you had off the printer, using crystal board or whatever, and made tokens to use in the game, and it's good now. Like I think it's good. I have to do another test trial, but I took a brief respite when Dome came about.
Right.
So I stopped doing the game to work on Dome, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that game's fun. So once I have a break, I want to get back and go back to the game. But the way the game works, what do you remember of the game?
Oh. Now, we played a couple of zombie games, so I just want to make sure it's the right one I'm thinking of, because we played one where you had the board and then you had different areas. And then you went into an area, so many rolls to get in or so many rolls to get out, and then you could, I think you had to have a bunch of people in the room or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. And it was on a map, and
Yeah.
you enter area, like you're always rolling to see if the zombies are gonna hear you or not.
Right. It was like a street map with a bunch of buildings.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, from what I remember, because I think this was test number 2, I think is the one I was at.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
So it was fairly early. I think there was you had tokens for, I'm just trying to remember
For
now.
life, I think. Yeah, I think I had tokens for life back at that point because I was using bits and pieces from the zombie board game.
Yeah, I think you had some Monopoly things in there.
Yep. Yeah. But after that, I think like what I did is I created every character has like 2 stats. and every character is different. I created 12 different characters you could play.
Right.
And every character is, each character has, they might be better in something and weaker in something else, or they might be very average, or they might be very strong in something and very weak in something else.
Yeah, because all your games, well, all games I've played are kind of similar to that. Each has their own spec. Some are more geared towards magic. Some are more strength. Some are more charisma. It kind of depends on your character.
The general concept of the game is you're either going to be really good at sneaking around and being quiet, not raising the attention of anyone,
right?
Or you're going to be a bit of a tank, where you're actually going to you're just going to fight zombies. And if you're sneaking, you're just trying to get away from the zombies. And the idea is you're trying to pick up parts to build a car,
right?
So you can actually exit the town. So I call the game Zombie Town. So you're in a town that's infected, and you're trying to find a way to get out. The only way to get out is to find a car, get it running, and get the F out of Dodge. That's the general idea, but everyone's statted out. And but when I changed it, like the last iteration of it, I actually have, because it was heavy on the rolling side, so I got rid of some of the rolling and used 2 stacks of cards. Mm-hmm. So if you go into a building, you're looking for parts, you pick up the parts deck, and you see what you get out of there. And within the deck are all the parts you need to build the car. But I kind of did it that way. So you're going in buildings, and when you're going in buildings, you're searching. You're trying not to make a lot of noise. If you make noise, you might attract the zombies. You can either try to run away from the zombies, or you can try to fight them.
I seem to remember the car thing, and the parts.
What's that?
Yeah, I remember where you had the parts that you had to kind of get everything together so you get the car all done up so that you could actually leave.
Yeah. And then you can establish bases, which I kind of stole that from David McGinity.
Right.
And you can, so by the iteration I have now, I added sidekicks so you can actually find people that will fight with you. So individually, and it's not other players, it's just people that you find on the map that are hiding out in a place. So there's potential to level your character up. So they may not be a good fighter, but you might find someone who helps you fight better. Or you might find someone who's really sneaky, really good at doing this, doing that, or one guy comes with a weapon, he's really good with the weapon, or just things like that. So I really like where it's going, and I just really want to do a play test. But trying to get the book done first. That's kind of the key.
Right.
But I will say that my love of zombies and the work of that book, it does feel a little bit from the general campaign idea of the board game. That's just a bit of a spoiler or a hint as to what you might be able to find in the book.
So you're going to talk about it in the book?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I don't want to say more than that.
Yeah, you don't want to spoil the book.
But in a lot of ways, the book, the spin-off of the book might be the game. And I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Yep. So that's that.
That's your zombie story?
That's my zombie story. And then, of course, like you and I have talked about 7 Days to Die a number of times.
Yeah, I've never played that one, but I don't know if I would see there again. See, I don't like games where you have to, you've got a time limit that you have to get something done, and then you have to go out and get, I like the sandbox type of game where you can go do what you want to do. You can follow the storyline. There's tons of sideline stories you can do, and this is more kind of like a Grand Theft Auto type of thing.
Well, no, 7 days. No, that's State of Decay. 7 Days to Die is different, and in that one, it's literally a sandbox.
Right.
That's exactly what it is, but it blends Minecraft with a first-person shooter, and the idea is you can go collect supplies. So, for example, you start out butt naked. All you get on is a pair of shorts, and that's it. You're dropped in the middle of the land, and you have to gather up enough grass to build a bedroll for you to sleep. And that's basically your spawn point.
Okay.
And then you're going to try to collect enough wood to build a club.
But why
later, what's that?
But the thing is, why you're doing this? Are you having people coming to attack you?
No. You can choose to not play in an open environment like that. You can choose to have people pop in or not.
Oh, okay.
But you can also play cooperatively too. So what we generally like most every night, we play 7 Days to Die. It's me, the wife, Mark, and Rob, and basically we're all we're gathering resources. We gather up enough stones and enough wood to build a shovel. So then we start shoveling, for minerals or sand, and then we can actually mix sand and the grass and the rock to build kind of like stone blocks. You can actually build your own house, by gathering enough material. But then you're also scavenging, and you're also going to find things that were left behind. You'll find like a chunk of garbage. In the garbage, you might find 7 bullets, or you might find a handgun, or you might find a first aid kit. So you gather resources, or you might find a T-shirt you can wear.
So this place was inhabited at one point. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So the general idea is you're going out trying to survive, and the reason it's called 7 Days to Die is on the 7th day is a blood moon. Every 7 days is a blood moon.
Okay.
And on that blood moon, the zombies go crazy. The night sky turns red, and the zombies they horde, and they come out, and the super special infected zombies come out. Like there's this giant cough that belches this acidic bile at everybody.
Wow.
And then there's like spider zombies that can crawl up anything. So you're basically trying to fortify yourself somewhere.
So it'd be like a concrete bunker or what?
No, you start like either you start at one of the environments. So you might be in a desert, you might be in a forest, you might be in a wasteland, like that's like kind of a scorched earth sort of place.
Wow.
You might be by a lake, you might not be. So you're collecting resources, and eventually you can collect enough resources to build a forge where you can actually make things. You can actually, do smelting and make steel. So you can make a pot for yourself. I mean, you can find a pot, but you can also make a pot.
Right. So you
might find. Go ahead.
So you should already know how to smelt and do all this stuff beforehand. It's not like when you're playing The Sims, where if you want to play guitar, you start off with a guitar and you go blink, 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 and then after you've leveled up several times, all of a sudden now you're playing. So you kind of learn as you go. No. But this game is like you get the stuff. Sorry.
Yeah, no. There's some stuff that you have to do.
Right.
There's some like you have a whole set of skills that you can do them, and as you do it, if you do something 20 times, you gain a rank of blunt weapons, for example. So you finally make a club and you start using your club, and if you kill enough zombies with a club or you hit enough things with a club, eventually your blunt weapons goes up to level 2.
Okay.
And then there's a whole bunch of skills like that. There's other skills that you have to buy, and they have minimum requirements. So, for example, if you want to make certain types of weapons, you have to have weaponsmithing 20 to be able to build, better weapons.
Okay.
There's something called pummel Pete, which is a skill that means you're incredibly skilled with blunt weapons, but you need 20 ranks of blunt weapons before you can take pummel Pete. And pummel Pete means you're more effective. You're actually skilled in blunt weapons to destroy bad guys. And then there's steel smithing, which you need 20 levels of construction to do, and you do construction by you build an axe and you chop trees down, and
right.
So there's a large number of skills that you automatically have, and just by doing them, you gain levels in them. And if you get enough skill levels in a skill,
eventually you get levels, you get an actual level. So your character goes from level 1 to level 2 overall, and they give you 5 points to spend anywhere you want.
Right.
So it plays very much like an RPG, which it's a great game. Like, and it's cheap. It's cheap to buy. Like, I strongly recommend you get it.
Yeah.
But it's this $30 game to buy. And there is a God mode in it.
Cool.
The God mode, though, means you have access to everything, anything and everything.
Oh.
But you're not invulnerable. But you can go into your, I can't remember what it's called. They have the same thing in Minecraft. Basically, you have a crafting section where you can make stuff. And then there's one where you can just go into like a store, and you can buy everything from there. So instead of buying cloth armor or making cloth armor yourself, you can buy a suit of armor, like of steel armor or military armor or whatever.
Right.
So there's the God mode there, and you can get any weapon you want, as many bullets as you want, and just go. Like, we play that way sometimes. You don't get any accomplishments for playing on that side of the game.
Right.
But you can see what you can get and just go nuts. So, I'll invariably, I grab a chainsaw and an AK-47, and then gas for the chainsaw and bullets for the AK-47. And
you have to buy gas?
Oh. For the chainsaw, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, eventually it runs out, but it lasts a fairly long time.
Yeah, my version of God mode is I don't need to reload, I don't need ammo, just give her, and just watch body parts fly. That's my.
Oh yeah, like when you're getting you go to the store and you grab your AK-47, and then you grab your bullets in batches of 500.
Right.
So right away you got 500 bullets.
Okay.
You still have to reload every 24 shots or whatever it is, depending on the weapon. But it's really, really fun. And the fact that there's no story in it, it's literally just a sandbox, and you come up with your own story. Like, okay, well, I want to find the edge of the map, and I want to build a fortification there.
Right.
And I want to plant my own food. Plant my own trees. I want to grow blueberries. I want to grow corn, and I want to have a workbench so I can build stuff. So you can build a miner's helmet, so you have like a lighted helmet on top of your head that protects your head and lets you see in the dark.
It's kind of like Fallout.
It's kind of like Fallout. And you can build a mini bike. You can drive around the map.
Right.
Mini bike is really hard to build. You have to find a book that tells you how to build it. It's the only way to build a mini bike is you need to find a book that tells you how to build it. And the only way to build a knife is you need to find a book that tells you how to build a knife. Okay. But once you have it, then you can do it.
Can you run over the zombies with your bike?
Yes, you can, but your bike does take damage.
Can you use the gas from your chainsaw and put it in your bike?
Yep.
If you're low?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep. And then your bike also has a basket on the back, so you can actually use your bike to store a lot more shit on you.
Right.
So you can carry more stuff too.
So you can repair your bike too on the fly, or do you have to go to a garage?
You have to go to a workbench.
A workbench, okay.
Yeah. And then you need the parts. Like, you need parts to fix a part on your bike. So if your headlamp goes from hitting too many zombies, for example, then you need to go to a workbench to fix it. You need some wires, and basically there's something called electrical parts. So you need some electrical parts to rebuild your light.
Yeah, I like that. I like the getting on it and just run over the zombies in God mode.
In God mode, usually that's the first thing I do is I take all the bike parts. 'Cause you can't buy a bike
right
in the store, but you can buy all the components to build the bike.
Oh, okay.
And you can build the bike without a workbench or anything. You just need all the parts, and you build a chassis, and then you attach everything to the chassis, and then you put gas in it, and then you're ready to go.
How does the save game work?
It saves everything you do,
so can you
but your position on the map is based on where you lay your last bedroll.
Okay.
So you want to drop bedrolls often. So if you're traveling without a bike and you're on the far side of the map, and you're trying to go as far as you can on the map, ideally you want to drop bedrolls, every 20 minutes or half an hour or whatever you want to do. Otherwise, as soon as you die, you go back to where you started,
Right.
which is your last bedroll, and you leave your dead body with a backpack on it there. So the only stuff you have is stuff you have in your tool belt. But you've left everything in your backpack. You left it where your body died.
So when you get back there, you can get the other stuff.
Yeah, when you get back there, you can run back to where you were and go collect your backpack. It shows up as a blue icon on your map.
So there's
Tells
no
you
actual.
where you left it.
There's no like auto save feature.
Well, no, it auto saves all the time. It auto saves roughly every 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. I'm just thinking, if you build a bike and then you die, now you have to go back to where you were before you even built the bike, and then you have to do the whole thing over again.
Oh, no. Like, if you die, if you're on your bike, you get off your bike and you do some scavenging, you get assaulted by a swarm of zombies.
Yeah.
You die, your bike is still where your body was, so you're going to have to go run out and go get your bike again.
Okay, so you don't go back in time, you just kind of die, and then you just kind of
Yeah,
res somewhere, and then you just kind of try and find your stuff again.
But I mean, all your accomplishments, like all the experience, like that's still, it's cumulative. Like, it doesn't go away.
Okay.
So if you killed a bunch of zombies, like you laid your bedroll down, you killed, 70 zombies, and then you went up 2 levels, you're not losing that. You're just losing your position.
Okay.
You go back to whatever your home base is, wherever your bed is.
Right.
But you can put a bed anywhere.
Okay.
So sometimes what I like to do is I like to build a base on a tree, the big tree, and I'll build steps or a ladder to climb up the tree, and then I'll build up the top of the tree, almost like a tree fort. And the zombies can't climb the tree.
Oh.
You just park up there for the night.
But the spiders can.
The spiders can, yes. And the cops, which are the pukers who puke like this acid,
right,
that will actually eat at the tree. And eventually the cop gives up and just blows up. So if he goes at the base of your tree and blows up, the whole base of your tree is gone and you go tumbling. You can't take falling damage.
Oh. You can or you can't?
Oh, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually built. I built one of the accomplishments is high in the sky or something. I can't remember what it's called, but it's getting as high in the sky as you can.
Right.
And then so I just built boxes, and I build a box and I jump up and put another box under my feet. Jump up, put another box. So I'm like 25 boxes high, and each box is like kind of 5 feet by 5 feet by 5 feet. So I'm like 25 boxes up in the sky.
So do you have
and I got the accomplishment that I jumped off and I died.
Do you have like a balancing accomplishment? It'd be kind of hard to get on 25 boxes.
No, they don't have that in there. But they have lots of accomplishments. The accomplishment I just got last night that I got really excited about was it's getting your temperature down to 0 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh.
And being 100% wet.
And being 100% wet?
Yep. So I went into the snowlands.
Yeah.
And there was a pool of water there.
Right.
So I took all my clothes off, all my armor off, dunked myself in the pool,
mm-hmm.
and then jumped out.
Right.
And then watched my temperature drop.
Oh.
Till it dropped to 0, and then I get the accomplishment for that.
Did you get shrinkage?
Yeah. But you get accomplishments for dumb stuff, like accomplishments just for dying 20 times. And, you get accomplishments not just for doing good stuff, but for doing stupid, silly stuff, too.
It's kind of like World of Warcraft. Same thing. They would put accomplishments in there. Anytime you did something or a group of something or whatnot, they would give an accomplishment. And some people kind of gives it more of a replay value so that you can try and get as many as you can.
Yeah.
And visit places that you would not normally go, just to kind of experience the whole game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun.
That's pretty cool.
Anyway, I think I'm done with zombies. I'm home. I'm going to go see my 2 baby zombies.
Ah, All righty.
All right.
Okay then.
Okay.
So we
See you on the flip side.
shall talk to you later.
Okay. Talk
Okay.
later.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.